everyone, welcome to Bickering Book Reviews. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Becky.
And today we're talking about The Grace Year by Kim Leggitt, I believe. I'm not really quite sure how to pronounce it. That's what I'm going with.
For me.
I'm not asking anybody else. And I got this off of NetGalley.
As did I.
And, okay, so
But I ended up listening to the audiobook. Because there was no way.
Oh, yeah. I
there was no way I was going to read those.
Well, it didn't come through, unfortunately, until basically it was out.
It was the day before it posted. Did they actually put it on? Did they approve it on NetGalley for me? So I was like, I'll just listen to the audio.
I just listen to the audiobook because that helps life.
Yes.
So listen to audiobooks sometimes. Okay. I don't know if in an alternate world, could be our world, could be a dystopian, not really quite sure. But in a world that looks similar to our own, kind of. In Garner County, girls are basically set to be wives and mothers, and they have to produce babies, and when they are no longer useful, they're no longer useful to society. And as the women are growing up, they come into their magical power, and the men don't want them to have magical power because that is seen as against their religion, seen as sinful. So they are sent to, you described it as an island, but it's really just like
it's an island in the middle of the lake.
Oh, I guess I missed that part. So I thought they were just like in the middle of the woods.
No, they're because they go on the boats to go to the island in the middle of the lake.
Oh, they did talk about the boats. I do remember the boats. I guess I didn't realize it was an island.
And so they're all in this encampment, and there are guards outside guarding them, and they're given supplies, and basically they go.
They work off their magic.
Right, they get their magic, and then they're supposed to burn off their magic, but they attack each other, and
it's basically like a girl version of Lord of the Flies, kind of. I don't really think there's much more to the premise than that. They're just sent out in the middle of nowhere for a year to burn off their magic, so it's just the girls that have come of age, and they figure it out. And while they are sent with supplies, when they arrive, they realize that basically the hierarchy starts taking place, and there's mean girls, and
our main character is Tyranny, who never wanted to get married, and her best friend, who was a boy, claimed her as his wife right before they went.
God, I missed so much of this story. I knew that happened.
I was like, that's the big
I guess what I really meant is, as far as summarizing this book, yes. I missed big swaths of it.
So I really disliked this book. I disliked this book so much. And people keep saying, and there's going to be spoilers, because I can't discuss my problems with this book without spoilers. People keep saying it's very feminist, and I keep thinking
her rage is coming off of her in waves that I'm just kind of I'm gonna let you rage.
I just keep thinking what all of the professors from my women's studies classes, because I was a women's studies minor, would say about this book. Because to me, this book hit every mark that we looked at in literature and movies about punishing women. Well, first of all, it's can't really be that feminist of a book when you dump all these women on this island together and then they torture each other. Literally,
because it's just the women.
And they're all these 16-year-old girls, but at that point in their society, they are women. They are grown-up women. And they're cutting off ears and fingers and tying them to trees because, you made me unhappy. But they're also being completely manipulated by the men because the men know that the water is poisoned. It sounds like it's kind of got EGOT or something.
Those are super spoilers.
I already said they're spoilers.
You said.
And I'm gonna mark it. But it's obvious. That's the other thing.
Well, yeah.
20 pages into them on the island, and they start acting out this stuff as they drink the water, and I'm like...
Well, especially because she, made a big point of making, rain barrels.
And then they destroyed the rain barrels. And then, but they're punishing and torturing each other. And that's in no way, to me, that's not a feminist concept of other women torturing each other. But then she gets saved by a man and has an unnecessary romance. And then the best part, the absolute best part, which is the part that just tweaked every little women's studies class, parts of my brain, was that she has one sexual interaction and she gets pregnant. Because you have to punish teenage girls for their sexuality.
I was okay with this book until she got back from the Grace Year, because
And
if we're going spoilers,
nothing changes.
If we're going spoilers, then I guess I'm just gonna like go into it because basically I was fine.
Anybody who has a report on this book, you're welcome.
Anybody. So like as far as them like torturing each other, and because there are poachers in the outside that are trying to get the girls, because if you get a girl and skin her, then you basically are set for life.
Because you sell her pieces. But
because
she
they're
falls
magical.
in love with poachers.
And
because she's weak-minded. I just don't see how people are reading this book and saying this is an incredible girl power book.
I mean, it's not incredible, but like, it wasn't bad. And then she gets bad because she keeps having these dreams, and I'm like, these dreams mean nothing. Like, they do not fit in. And then they kind of sort of.
To me, it was like, oh, yep, that's all. Well, as soon as they revealed the pregnancy, I was like, there it is.
I mean, it took a while for it to be relevant, but like the thing is, she kept talking about these flowers and like.
Oh, the flowers thing was so annoying.
You kind of thought that there was going to be this kind of uprising, but it never got to that crescendo. It was very quietly done, and I think it was trying to be The Handmaid's Tale, but I don't think it was as empowering.
I didn't find anything empowering. Like I said, this to me, and I really want to know what academics think of this book. I want to know people who studied media studies and people who studied women's studies, what they would view of this book. Because from my media studies classes and my women's studies classes, I'm horrified by it.
I don't know, like I said, I just think it's like an imagination of what Lord of the Flies could have looked like if it was girls.
But Lord of the Flies is a very different situation. Lord of the Flies, they're plane crashes. This is literally all of the men in society to keep these women without having power, dump them on an island, and encourage them to torture each other. And then they do.
I mean,
they knew the water was poisoned.
But like, once they got there, they had to survive. It wasn't about like torturing or punishments. That was something that they took from kind of their religious upbringing and brought to the table.
Which was presented by men.
Right, but they didn't have to go that route. I mean, essentially they crash landed on this island. Like, they were thrown onto this island, like, and there were nobody would have known. Like, the laws in the society that was created there, nobody would have known. They knew that nobody would know because you're not supposed to talk about the grace here, so nobody would have known.
I feel like comparing it to what classic literature is very generous.
Lord of the Flies sucks, okay?
It's very
Don't even! Classic literature, mine.
We should just rate it because I could go on more and more. And that's the thing. Like, usually when a book really bugs me, like 2 or 3 days later, I start to see the merits. It's been a week and I still am like, ugh.
She's still writing emails to herself about
it. So, we should rate it.
Okay, our rating scale goes from 5 unicorns down to 2 unicorns. We don't like it, and it's sucktacular. Somebody's mowing outside of my house, just by the way. We don't like it, it's sucktacular, doesn't get a horn, it isn't magical, and is therefore a horse. I think I know where you're going to go with this. So.
I gave it a 2 on Goodreads, but no. I can't even do that. It's a horse. And I have to change my rating on Goodreads. And everybody else on Goodreads is like all of these like 5-star reviews, and I'm like, did we read the same book?
Is this the first horse?
No, I'm pretty sure I did it before, but this might, like, I think though, I never give 1-star reviews. If you look at my Goodreads, there are maybe like, out of like 3,000 books, if I have like 20 1-star reviews, I would be shocked.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm kind of like at a 2.5, but we don't do halves, so I'll do a 2. I don't know. I mean, like, it had action, it moved. I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, I get some of what you're saying. I just, I don't know.
So that is where we are in the grace year.
All right. See you around.
Bye.